I've built a couple of boards before and come up with kind of what worked and what didn't work and what made them nice and not nice. And I ended up building this one out of 24mm birch. So the board is really, really stiff, and then just the finish on the timber is super nice, basically. Instead of it being like a scummy, dirty, dusty board, I kind of put the time into sanding it and then sealing it. And I put like so much time into making it neat and tidy and like making the join super good, and then it's around the side and actually nobody ever sees it but me. The main thing is too, like, is when you know, like how boards end up like super stained and you end up with all that rubber. Just any time you can just clean it off with a bit of spit, which is probably gross, but better than too many rubbery footprints. I normally, like, before trying anything hard, I just brush every hold. Before I put on, I like to give them all a brush. The problem that I'm running into now is that I've had the board since 2016, I think it was. So like a lot of my holds are actually really worn out from too much use. They're like glass. I feel this guy. He's like so slippery. This is my least favourite hold out of all holds on the board, because you end up just slipping and then punching yourself basically in the face. I reckon favorite's probably this. It's a weird kind of hold in that it's basically a jug if you've got not sore fingers. When you're not in good shape, it feels like death and you can't actually even pull on it. So we'll start with the most classic moonboard warm-up there is, Wuthering Heights. I'll light it up. Wuthering Heights. Light that up. There we go. The most classic moonboard warm-up. Hopefully I can actually do it. The main game of any moonboarding is benchmarks. If it's not a benchmark, it doesn't really matter. So 6B plus to 7A, there's 2 that I haven't done. Oh, and they're both fucked. I can't do either of them. The V grade's impractical. It kind of binds things at certain grades, so you end up like in this weird zone. I think it's like sacrilegious to use the V grade. It's a moonboard. They don't use the V grade in England. They use the French grade. The Sublime brush is by far the worst rock climbing brush ever designed. Does not fit in a chalk bag and doesn't fit in any small holds. So it's been relegated to the stick because otherwise it's useless. You can't, if your shoe isn't shaped like that, it's cheating for moonboarding. If you're using like a shoe that's shaped like that, it just makes your feet weak for when you actually need to have a shoe that's shaped like that outside. Favourite thing about the board or the board room is having AC and heating, so you can just come down and train, be comfortable and not sweat, basically, is the nicest thing. Take away the humidity. Jesus. Maybe start like this. Oh, that didn't work out. Whew. It's gonna be hard. Coming match. We'll try the next bit. redo the floor, redo all the walls because they were all rotten, and I insulated everything, framed out the windows and the doors, and I cut a hole in the roof to fit the board in so it was in the middle of the room. And then it used to be open here, so there's a wall to divide it from the garage so the garage doesn't get covered in chalk, which is not very nice. Yeah, this is the other half of the shed, which was one of the reasons why we bought the house as well, because I wanted somewhere to work on my car. But yeah, it's like a nice clean space to work on my car, and then a nice tidy space to train. I try to train at least 2 days a week if I'm not climbing outside, but if I'm doing a lot outside then I don't come in at all, mainly just to warm up. So the project is the 12mm campus board rung. It's like a 6mm radius with 15 degree in cut on a 17 degree board.